We want to ask you, the first question is, right, why do you support and why do you believe Donald Trump will be a great president? I mean, why should ordinary people who have to get up and go to work every day should support a billionaire for the presidency of the United States?
They should support Donald because, you know, first and foremost, he is a people person. He's a real human. He, you know, as distant as he is from the normal person, he understands it. He understands people. He's worked hard. With the company he has, he's built it from you know, what his father gave him up to a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company. You know, it's premier real estate. He's dealt with people all over the world. He has international experience. He has just a lot of real life experience. And I think that if you speak to anybody that knows Donald, he's actually a very personable, nice guy behind what everyone sees in the media.
Now, Chris, he wears that famous red hat with the white lettering that says, "Make America Great Again." I mean, when you think of that slogan, when you see him wearing that hat, what does that mean for you? Does it mean a stronger military, like increased military spending? Does it mean lower taxes, a job for everyone, universal health care? I mean, what does that specifically mean to you?
I think it means a little bit of everything. Donald's obviously one of the oldest candidates in the run right now for presidency, and he's seen America, you know, back in the 60s, 70s, when we were a superpower of the world. People respected us. He built his company up, you know, at that time. He was a businessman. He didn't have what he had now, and basically making America great again. He's seen us in our heyday, and he knows that it takes hard work and people actually working to contribute to making society better. Making America great isn't just one thing. It's basically making the hard decisions, which he's proven that he can do. He knows when to walk away, when to into things that matter and are important. He's not going to waste the taxpayers' money and time on issues that are not relevant and don't matter.
You know, Chris, what about Bernie Sanders? I mean, he seems to be a man of the people based on what he's talking about, right? He wants to restore the middle class. For example, he wants to invest something like $1 trillion over the next 5 years, and in the process create like 13 million jobs. Now, Donald Trump talks about like bringing jobs back from, like, say, China, but he doesn't really have that kind of specific proposal on his website. Why not Bernie Sanders?
I don't know a whole lot about Bernie Sanders, but creating 13 million jobs. Is that what you said? 13 million. It doesn't seem the government, I don't believe, should create the jobs. If there's work that needs to be done, there's private companies out there, and it should be bid out, and you should look into a company based on their credibility and the work they've done in the past. I think that's a big problem with the government is they bid out jobs, they pay the lowest bidder, and then they get the lowest bidder type of work, which ends up costing us more than probably the highest bidder and a more qualified contractor. So we're paying the lowest bidder, but then we're doubling and tripling their initial amount that they quoted us. So with Donald, I think Donald is going to with creating jobs, he's going to create them in the private sector. He's going to give people the regular person, the regular people with the knowledge to start companies that will in return create jobs, create well-paying jobs where people are getting paid based on their abilities versus the government. You get hired based on an ethnicity or or something where it's just you meet a certain standard that they need, and it's not based on your experience and what you know, and not necessarily the best candidate for the job.
Now, Chris, his fellow billionaire Michael Bloomberg, right, former mayor of New York City, would you like to see Donald Trump govern the country the way Michael Bloomberg governed New York City? I mean, how would you like to see Donald Trump govern the country?
I would. I've been here. I was here for 2 years in Michael Bloomberg's New York, and then I've been here for almost 2 years of Bill de Blasio's. And I tell you what, when I first moved to New York, I loved it, and it was, you know, I felt safe going out. There wasn't the problem with the homeless and, you know, the panhandlers and basically the congestion and also the subways and just some minor things. Also the way the parks are taken care of. It doesn't seem like things are being as well run as they were when I first moved here. For one, the East River Park, I used to bike down there, and you know, it'd been a mess all summer. But you know, I think I would like to see Don. I mean, Michael Bloomberg did a very good job governing being the mayor of New York City, and I think Donald just has a business approach to things. He sees a problem and he figures out a way to fix it. He doesn't beat around the bush. He's going to find a way. He's going to look for, you know, the right people to manage the government. If he doesn't know somebody, he's going to hire someone, you know, that is qualified, that can educate him on that realm, or, you know, he's going to find it out for himself. You know, I think he's a go-getter, and he's somebody that actually, you know, will take the time to think about something versus push it off and, you know, have somebody, you know, unqualified go off on certain, you know, on work.
Chris, we want to thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you for you taking the time too.